Hi, I'm Jelena.
Hi, I'm David.
And this is Mr. Kani.
Today, Connie is going to do the work of demonstration. We're doing actually a Vinyasa today, Eka Pada Sirsasana Vinyasa, which also has a pose in it too, called Chakorasana from Third Series. So I don't know.
Look at Kani's turnout. Such a good turnout in his feet and his legs.
I've seen him put his leg behind his head. He can do it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it.
But maybe there's something else you'd like to see Connie do. Do let us know in the comments below. Make sure to tune in to see what Connie does next week. Subscribe and like.
Likes are really for Mr. Kani in this video, so. All right.
Okay, so Eka Pada Sirsasana means one leg behind the head pose, 1 foot behind the head pose.
And this is in Ashtanga. This is part of the second series or intermediate series. And so, you know, there isn't really, once you are doing this pose, your hips are getting to that stage where they're open enough. And we do have a tutorial on Eka Pada Sirsasana specifically.
We do.
Which we'll link. There, I don't know. But this video, as David said, is specifically about this vinyasa, which is very tricky. So it's not just that the pose is tricky. Now we gotta jump with that one leg coming around, do the whole thing, and then coming out of it is.
I'd say it's coming out of it that people have a lot of trouble with usually, right? Jumping in's not so bad. Because you've kind of done this jumping work already in Bhujapadasana and Kurmasana.
Kurmasana, yeah.
But
now it's just one leg instead of two.
But until you really master Eka Pada Sirsasana, then Chakorasana, the way that we exit out of it can be really difficult. Yeah. Most people, that's the last thing that comes.
If you're lucky and you have a teacher that you study with on a regular basis, you get assisted and that helps and makes a difference. But if you're at home, then it takes a while.
So this is an intermediate vinyasa. It's an intermediate posture. It's not for beginners, okay? Okay, so we'll show a little demo first.
Sure, yeah.
Connie, and then, no, Connie's out.
Connie's done.
Okay, so of course we start in downward facing dog. And then we go sapta, inhale, jump the right leg around, sit, and actually all on that inhalation, you come into Eka Pada Sirsasana setup. Hands in prayer, and then Ashtau, exhale, fold into the state of the asana, and it's Padagraya Drishti, gaze towards the foot. Nava, inhale, head up, hands into prayer, exhale there. Dasha, inhale, hands down, pick up. This is Chakorasana. Yekarasha, exhale, go back, Chatwari. Dwarasha, inhale, Trayorasha, exhale. And then you would continue the vinyasa on the other side, and that would be, the state of the asana would be Panchadasha. So it kind of follows a similar vinyasa count as the primary series postures.
And I just realized too, so it's not only that you have to do on the exit, not only that you do Chakorasana, but then you also come back into that like very quick Bakasana too, which is important. We can talk about it.
Yeah, so the vinyasa count says inhale, pick up into that Chakorasana, and then the end of the exhale
You're in Chatwari.
Is Chatwari. How you get back to it is where the artistry takes place. So you can do it very sloppy, or you can do it kind of nice and right?
Yep.
So I think the jumping in is easier. You're jumping forward, that's easier. You can use the strength of the legs. You're jumping the leg that's going behind the head to the outside of the arm. And ideally, you're not going to land right away. You land with the leg hooked around and the other leg in kind of an L-sit position. So you see how Jelena's hips and foot are still off the floor, and then you lower down. And then usually we would do lots of like stalling actions here where we warm the hip up and, in our self-practice.
But I think we mentioned it in our other video, but this is a great way to kind of introduce or add a little stretch without making it seem like a whole kind of, it's on the way to get the leg behind the head, but you've just paused here intentionally and you can really feel it in the hips. So that's a little cheat we do sometimes.
But I guess in terms of the ideal of the vinyasa, sapta from downward dog, at the end of that inhalation, then you're in with the leg behind the head and the hands to prayer. So you're working towards that. You can use the leg that hooks around the arm to keep the other leg off the floor. If you're this far in your practice, you've probably figured that out already. But it's the tension of that top leg on the bent arm that is going to help you keep the hips lifted. So it's not just arm strength, it's the connection in your body. So watch Jelena's leg come over. And then see the resistance down with the right shin, the foot, around the arm. And then the curl of the spine holds the hips off the floor. Okay? This is the same principle that you're going to use in Chakorasana. But it's harder because the foot is behind your head, right? And so if the foot is behind your head and you're having troubles with it, keeping it there, getting it deep enough, far enough down, same issue usually, then it's driving your shoulders and head forward and down. So it's hard to access the strength of the leg without collapsing the head down towards the floor. So what we want to be able to do is eventually have the leg far enough back here that we can flex the knee and pull down on the shin against our back. And our back is really supported by the arms beside us, and that gives us sort of the lift and the ability to curl the spine to bring the hips forward. Can you see how far Jelena's hips come forward to bring the extended leg up? That's the trick to it. Okay, I wasn't sure if you're going to jump back. I already got kicked in the face once today.
He did. There's a mark on his nose. That's me kicking him.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. At least it's like very centered.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a tattoo. Yeah. So having the leg behind the head and deep enough makes Chakorasana much more available, I would say.
Yeah, that and it's that cue of bending the knee, and so that you feel this part of your leg really pushing down is what helps with keeping you nice and tight and contained, and then will help with the momentum of swinging too.
Yeah, you get that posterior tuck with the hips, the bringing the tailbone and the sits bone forward and up. And then I guess too, the extended leg is already engaged. So I would say having that leg engaged and having good placement with your hands. So don't start with your hands too far back, because you're not going to have anything to kind of lift into. So see where Jelena's hands are placed? They're in front of the hips to start. That's not where they'll end up though.
Yeah, and this elbow too, it really makes a big difference. Make sure that it's not popping out like that, because that's a collapse in the shoulder and you're going to hurt your shoulder. But also, if you bring the arm back, like you're squeezing your elbow against your leg, which squeezes your leg against the body, it helps with that whole thing of keeping you nice and tight.
So now Jelena already initiates the posterior tilt, and she locks out that extended leg, strengthens it. The foot is pointed. And then she's going to actually pull from the hips and the arms to lift up. And that brings the chin towards the shin. And then on the exhale, here, she's going to start pushing this right leg back down into the arm to help lift the back high enough to get the legs back. And I don't know if you could see it there, but she brought her feet together. And this is what we were talking about on the way back. She brought the feet together before she went back to Chitwari. It's not necessarily called out in the tradition, but what you'll see, if people don't do that, they end up bringing the extended leg back first and then bringing the other leg around. And I find that creates a real uneven force around the sacrum.
Yeah, it's weird there, but it's also weird on the shoulders because you kind of like are jerking and collapsing a little bit. I can try and demonstrate it. I'll just demonstrate it with the other leg so it's not all one-sided here. But you probably should move unless you want another
safety first
marking.
All right, so watch. That was the shitty version.
Yeah, where people shoot the leg.
Yeah, even your shitty version wasn't too shitty though. I see people kind of, they rely on the leg that's on the shoulder to stay there to get the 1 foot back. So they'll have that 1 foot back on the floor and then bring the other leg back. Yeah. And so they're really split, you know, and they're giving up on the core support, on the sort of the stability, because the foot's on the floor. So they'll drop into that a little bit and they end up in an extended spine position as they're bringing the other leg back.
Let's see if I can do it.
Are you doing the shitty version or a good version?
Try one more time. So here.
Yeah. So. That,
this.
Yeah, that. Yeah. And then drag the other. That's it. See, you've lost kind of the integrity and the support of it. Once that foot is down, Jelena's not really working to hold everything stable around the hips anymore. And so that's what I was saying, there's a lot of like uneven force.
Yeah. Oh, that's our dog.
That was our dog.
Having a fight with one of our people that's helping us in the video. Because he's napping and she's disturbing him.
All right. So, and we're saying shitty in the sense of like, we all have to do it shitty until we can get better at it. So whatever you can do, that's great. It's amazing that you're there and you're practicing it no matter what. But there's always room for, you know, improvement, optimization.
Room to improve it, but also make sure that in the process of learning it, if you are doing these, you know, beginner versions of jump back, that if you start to feel pain in the back or the shoulders, like you gotta stop doing it that way. You gotta start changing it because it's just gonna get more intense.
Yeah. I think that's where our emphasis on bringing the feet together started, was because we were seeing people starting to develop issues around
shoulder. Yeah. So I can do one more time, slower.
For what are you gonna do? The good version?
The gooder.
The professional. The gooder. Okay, so the key here is that the leg is going to stay behind the head as the other foot starts to come back and around. Oh, sorry, so see, this knee is going to come onto the arm. Do you do that? Do you put it on the arm or do you just, no, okay. Sometimes they'll cheat like that. You can go into like a full-fledged Bakasana position with both knees on the arm, or if you're strong enough, like Jelena, then you can just bring the foot back to touch.
Yeah, I really use the momentum of having that leg nice and straight that's now reached up, and then that momentum of swinging back and going fast, and thinking just about bringing my feet together as soon as possible.
Speed is definitely part of it, because it all should be from Chakorasana back to Chitwari, one exhalation.
Yeah. Last one?
Sure.
But I'm doing it full speed.
Okay.
Ta-da! It took a while.
For you to get?
Yeah. Wasn't, for me, like the leg behind head stuff wasn't always, like it's not as a struggle as back bends or twists, but it's still, because this part of bringing the feet together and then shooting back, that's not just flexibility, that's strength. So that's kind of that connection. pushing through your arms, rounding the upper back, and not letting yourself collapse or flatten out as you...
Yeah, it's strength, and it's like a higher level of organization in the movement too. You've got to track things a little bit more, maintain a connectedness. So I guess that's strength, and then there's a kind of like, you have to deepen your presence while you're doing it and not just rely on trying to get it over with.
Yeah, so that's when I say you move fast and speed is your friend, and kind of using the momentum, it still entails a lot of like very precise movement along the way, but slowing it down, you can slow it down and then kind of wiggle halfway and bring the feet together, but eventually for your feet not to touch the floor, I think you move a little bit faster.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good luck. It's hard.
Yes.
How did you find this? Let us know. And if there's something else you want to see, please let us know. We're taking our cues from you. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you again.
Bye.